This is the Roulette Master, and today I'm going to introduce you to the safest roulette system of all time. That's what my subscriber Eric says this is, and he says he can play this all night long without losing, and that is a huge claim. I can't wait to see if he's right. That would be fantastic, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. And today we're going to put his incredible new system up against Romanowski in a head-to-head matchup, and I can't wait to see which one makes the most money in 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and start with Romanowski first. We're going to start with $30 on second 12 and third 12, and then $10 on two corners in the first 12. You can see we have a zero balance. This is an $80 total bet. The timer is set, and here we go with Romanowski. That's a 14 red. And we started with a $10 win. We're going to get a lot of wins with this one because we have 32 numbers covered. But once we have a loss, I'll share with you what to do next. And here we go. All right. That is a 9 red. And we lost already. So if you get a loss, one thing that you can do is take that $80 that we just lost, and we can put it on an outside bet. So let's go ahead and let's put $80 on black and spin. And let's see what we get here. All right, we recovered that. Fantastic. So now we can go back to Romanowski. So let's go ahead and put the bets back up there. And then coming up, I'll share with you what to do if you lose that bet, because I don't really like having to double it on those outside bets with that starting amount. But I'll share with you what your options are and what the best way to do that is. And that's a 5 red. And then also with Romanowski, a lot of times, it didn't happen today, but a lot of times you win more than $80 before you have a single loss. So then you don't really need to try to get your money back. You just build it back up again, and that's a much safer way of playing. But I'll cover all that as we go through. We're up $30, and let's see how many wins we can get in a row now before we have another loss. And here we go. That's a 2 black. Another win, so we're currently up $40. Let's just rebet and spin at $80 total bet. We have 30 on each of the dozens and 10 on two corners. That's a 27 red. We won again, so let's go ahead and rebet. We're currently up $50, and let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. That's a 35 black, and that's a win. We're up 60. Let's rebet and spin, and let's see what we get here. That is a 17 black. As long as we're not in the first dozen, we're going to be good, and we're up 70. But even if you do hit in the first dozen, there's a good chance you'll hit one of those two corners we have bet on. And that's a 30 red. That's another win, and we're up $80. So let's rebet and spin. And again, once you get up over $80, you don't need to try to recover if you have a loss, but you can. It's just a little bit more risk. And we'll cover all that when we see when our next loss is. We're up $90, and let's rebet and spin. And I can't wait to see what one of my subscribers, Eric, says is the safest roulette system of all time. He can play it all night long. That'll be coming up. Make sure you don't miss out on that. We're up $100. So let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 10 black. Okay, we were fortunate enough to hit one of those corner bets. We're up $110 now. Let's rebet and spin. And a lot of times when I play Romanowski, I cash out before I have a single loss. And that happens sometimes. And that's one of the really good nights. And we're up $120. And so if you've got $100 profit after 20 minutes, and you haven't lost yet, or 10 minutes even, go ahead and cash out and declare victory over the casino without a single loss. We're up $130, but then when we do have more losses here, I'll share with you the options that you have and what to do after if you lose that first recovery attempt. And we're up $140. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's an 18 red. Okay, that's a $10 win there. We're up $150. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin here. And that's a 17 black. Okay, we won that one. We're up $160. Okay, let's go ahead and rebet and spin. Let's see what we get here. That's a 25 red. Okay, we're up 170. And like I was saying earlier, if you do lose that first one, I don't want you to start doubling because you can get in trouble pretty quickly with that. But I'll share with you what to do here on our next loss. And we're up 180. Okay, let's rebet and spin. And here we go. All right, that is a 3 red. That's another win. We were fortunate enough to hit one of those corner bets again. We're up 190, and let's go ahead and spin again here. And that's a 3 red. And that's a $10 win. We're up $200. And let's keep it rolling here. You're going to get a lot of wins with Romanowski with 32 numbers covered. And that's a 26 black. That's a $10 win. We're up 210. All right, let's continue the wins. And then once we have those losses, we'll deal with them and learn how to put those to bed. That's a 33 black, and that's a win. We're up 220. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 34 red. Another win. Now we're up 230. And even though if we're up 230 and you get an $80 loss, you really shouldn't try to recover. But we're going to do it anyway just so I can show you what to do if you're not ahead this much. Okay, so we're up 150. And remember, we put an $80 bet on the outside. Let's go ahead and let's bet on black for 80. And then I'll share with you what to do if you lose this bet, even if we don't lose it. And that's a 19 red. So I don't recommend doubling and doubling and doubling. However, this first one, we're going to go from 80 to 160. But after that, we're not going to double. So we're only going to double one time. And let's go ahead and spin. And we lost again. That's a 3 red. So now all of a sudden, we're just going to add 80 to that 160. So we're going to put a 240 bet there. On black and spin. And here we go. Okay, we finally got a win. So you can see we haven't recovered everything. We're up 150. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take $80 off of that bet. So we're going to go from 240 to 160. Let's go ahead and do that. And you can move this bet around if you would like. Let's go ahead and spin again with 160 total bet on black. And we lost that one. So we're going to go back up again. We're going to go from 160 up to 240 again. And let's go ahead and do that. And again, you don't have to do this. If you're up a lot, you don't have to try to recover. But I'm going to show you how a good way to recover is if you're not up after a loss. Okay, there's a win at 240. Let's go back to 160. And you can see we're still up $230. So if we want to, we can go ahead and reset anytime we want. But let's try to get one more win. That's a 19 red. We lost. So let's go back up to 240. And all we're doing is we're going up by $80 and down by $80. So let's get a win here. There's a win. Let's go back to 160. And actually, we don't need to now. We're up 310. So keep an eye on your profit levels, and once you're at a good number, you go back to Romanowski. So we're up 310 there. And let's put the bets back out. And it's amazing how one up, one down can, even if you don't bring it back lower than where you started, can make you profit like that. You can see now we're up 310, and we're back to base level. So all we were doing there was going up by the amount that we bet originally. One up, one down on the recovery there, and that's one good way to do it. However, if you don't have to recover, if you're up a ton and you don't have to recover, don't recover. Just keep going with Romanowski. That's a 14 red, because like I said, a lot of times you can cash out without even losing with Romanowski. We're up 330, and let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. And a lot of times you'll win on that first outside bet at the $80, and you don't even have to go through the one up, one down. Okay? So we're up 340. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. And we had a bunch of losses there and still came out pretty well. That's an 8 black. That's another win. We're up 350. All right, let's keep the wins coming our way. Here we go. That's a 25 red. Another win. We're currently up 360. And here we go again. But I know a lot of you don't like to go back in profit, and that's why I'm going to share. Obviously, if I was playing in the casino, I would just I wouldn't try to recover. I'm up 280. I would just keep going. However, we're going to keep showing you the recovery here today so that you can see how this works. Let's go ahead and go red for 80. That's what we lost. So let's see if we can recover it. And a lot of times you can win on this first spin. And we did. So we don't have to go one up, one down. And then you can just resume with Romanowski. We're back up 360. So there we go. And then let's spin again. Here we go, and let's see what we get here. Let's see how many more wins we can get before we have another loss, and that's a 33 black. It's always nice when you have high numbers with Romanowski. And we're up 370 because the only way you can lose is to have one of the zeros or have one of the numbers in the first 12 that are not covered, and that's a 24 black. Okay, now we're up 380. Let's rebet and spin again here with Romanowski. And here we go. And that's a $10 win. We're up 390. Let's rebet and spin. You can see I'm drinking clear liquid. Whenever I wear a white shirt, I try not to drink liquids that are colored because I always make a mess of my shirt. So we lost $80 there, and we're going to go back into recovery, even though we don't need to currently. We're up 310. But just to share with you again what we do, let's go ahead and let's go black this time for 80 and spin. And again, most of the time you'll win this bet, and if you don't, you start going one up, one down. That's a 15 black. And we got the win. But if we didn't get it, we would just go one up, one down until we got back in session profit. We're up 390, and then we just resume. So let's go ahead and do that and spin. And let me know down in the comments if you guys have a tendency to, every time you wear a white shirt, to ruin it. Stick to those clear liquids. We're up $400. And let's go ahead and spin, and let's see what we get here. I'm already starting to plan some trips for later in the year for Vegas, just to get all my trips lined out. And we're up 410. Let's rebet and spin. We're just getting into the meat of golf season, so I don't travel as much this time of year. But once it starts slowing down in the early fall, then I'm gone pretty much every week or two to Vegas. We're at 420. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. But I might pop in there a few times to meet some people there, but haven't planned any this summer yet. Okay, that's a $10 win. We're at 430. And let's rebet and spin. Here we go. Let me know down in the comments where you guys like to stay when you go to Vegas. I'm usually at Circa, but I love Fremont Street, but let me know where you like to go. And we're at 440. And let's go ahead and spin again here. That's a 21 red. And we're at 450. I saw there was some craziness at Resorts World this week. Looked like a bunch of people showed up for a Mr. Beast event, and they didn't have it. So lots of craziness there. A lot of people unhappy with Resorts World, but I really like Resorts World. We're up 460, and let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 19 red, and we're up 470. Let's rebet and spin. It's funny, my casino host at Resorts World, his name is Sean Combs. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought I'd tell you guys that. But he's a pretty cool guy, not P. Diddy. And we're up $480, and let's spin again here. And here we go. That's a 36 red. That's another win. We're at 490. Let's rebet and spin. But I spend most of my time on Fremont Street at Circa. It's I just feel most comfortable on Fremont Street. I love the music and the environment, and lots of good places to eat too. A lot of people don't realize, you don't have to be on the strip to get really good meals. And in fact, there's a place called Barry's in Circa that's unbelievable, and lots of places where you can just eat for breakfast or lunch that are really good as well. And we're at $510. Let's rebet and spin. And this will be our last spin with Romanowski before we get to that new system of the day. I can't wait to see if it's as good as he says it is. And that's a $10 win there. We're up $520 after 15 minutes with Romanowski. And let me know down in the comments if you would have done anything different with Romanowski, or if you liked it, didn't like it, anything you can think of, put it down in the comments, and would love to see that. And now, though, it is time for that new roulette system of the day. I can't wait to see if it's as good as he says it is. Let's jump right in and get started. Here we go. All right, I can't wait for this one. One of my subscribers, Eric, says you can play all night long with this strategy, and it's the safest roulette system of all time. Let's find out. And we're going to start by betting on 2 dozens like some other systems. We're going to leave out the one that hit last, so let's bet on first and second 12. But this one has a way different progression than what you're used to. And here we go. That's a 19 red. Okay, we started out with a win. And if you win, you just rebet and always leave the last one that hits out. But that's just the beginning of this one. There's a lot more to it. That's a 30 red. That's another win. We'll leave out the third 12 now, and we're up 20. Let's go ahead and spin. And this has a very different progression than what you're going to be used to playing roulette. Okay, we lost that one. So when we lose with this system, we do not increase the bet. We just leave it the same. But however, there will be a time when we increase the bet. And I'll share that with you as we go through. That's a 17 black. Okay, we got the win there. And on the previous spin, we lost that. But once you have a loss, once you have a win after a loss, you increase the bet. So we're going to go from, first 12 for 20, and then third 12 for 20. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's an 8 black. Fantastic. That's a $20 win. We're up 30. Now we go back to the start again. Every time you get at or near session profit, you're going to reset. But let's go ahead and spin again here and see what we get on second and third 12. That's a 21 red. And that's a $10 win. So we'll be on first and third now. And again, we're not increasing after losses. Every time you lose, you don't increase. You only increase when you win after a loss. Okay, and that's a $10 win. We're currently up $50. So we'll be on second and third now. Let's go ahead and spin, and let's see what we get here. That's a 4 black. And we lost. So we keep the bet the same. And spin. That's a 9 red. We lost again. So you can see that dropped us to $10 profit, and we do not increase the bet. We leave it the same. And this is the safety aspect that Eric says makes this the safest roulette system of all time. We just lost 3 times in a row. We're going to keep the bet the same. And here we go. That's a 1 red. We lost again. So let's just rebet and spin. We've lost a bunch of them in a row with all these first 12s to hit here. And there we finally got a win with 34 red. So now we start increasing after we get a win. And you can see we're minus 20. Let's go ahead and spin. We increased by $10 on each dozen because we got a win after a loss. And you can see we're back to where we started. And we're going to increase again. We're going to go from 20 to 30 after that win. Okay, let's go ahead and spin at 30 each, 60 total. All right, that's a 4 black. We lost, so we leave the bet the same, and we just spin again with the same bet out there. We don't increase after losses. That's a 33 black. That's a win. So now we do increase, and we go from 30 to 40. Okay, you can see we're at minus 30 right now, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and spin here. We had a lot of losses in a row. We have to remember that. And that's a win there. So now we go to 50. Okay, and let's go ahead and get a win here at 50. And we did. That's a 14 red. So now we reset. We're up $60, and we'll be on first and third. We're leaving out the one that hits last. But that's pretty good considering we had 5 losses in a row, which doesn't usually happen with 2 dozens, but it does sometimes. Basically, we just had a string of low numbers, and we'll be on first and second 12 now. We're currently up $70. And again, one of my subscribers, Eric, says this is the safest roulette system of all time, and he can play all night long without losing his bankroll. We'll talk about that bankroll here in a minute. We lost that one. You can see we were up 70. We just rebet and spin, and we keep the bet the same until we win. That's a 6 black, and we got the win. So now we increase, and we'll be at 20 each. 40 total, and let's spin. That's a 16 red. Okay, we got the win. We're back up 80, so we restart. Anytime you get a chance, he says restart. And let's go ahead and spin again. And here we go. Let's build it back up again. That's a 17 black. We lost, so we were up 80. We're going to leave the bet the same and spin again until we get a win. So we're not going to increase on losses. That's a 32 red. Okay, so now we'll increase, and we'll be on first and second for 20 each. And that's a $40 total bet. Let's see if we can get new session profit here. And I think we did. That's a 7 red. Okay, we're up $90, and we'll be on second and third 12. And let's go ahead and spin. And let's see if we can establish new session profit at 100. And we did not. I believe we lost that one. And we did. So we just rebet and spin. And then once we get a win, we'll increase the bet. That's a 25 red. Okay, we won. So now we'll increase the bet. And now we'll be 20 each on first and second 12. That's a $40 total bet. And here we go. That's a 35 black. We lost, so we keep the bet the same. And now we'll have that, again, that 20 each bet on first and second 12 until we get a win. And we got the win, so now we increase. So we'll go from 20 to 30. And you can see we're only up 60, so we need to get a win here and get us back up to 90. That's a 13 black. We got the win, so we'll go ahead and reset. We'll be on first and third. We're up 90. Let's get to 100 right here. That's a 23 red. We lost, so we will repeat that bet and spin. And let's see what we get here. That's a 7 red. We got the win, so we increased the bet from 10 to 20. We're up 80, and this will get us to 100 if we can get the win here, and that'll be new session profit. And we did. That's a 15 black. Fantastic. So we'll be on first and third now, and we're up $100. This is a $2,000 bankroll system, but he says you'll never use it. He says you can play all night long with this one and not lose your bankroll. And so far, so good. And again, if you get wins in level 1, we're up $110. You just keep the bets at 10 and keep winning. You don't increase on wins unless it follows a loss. And you keep track of your session profit levels with this one. And we lost, so we just rebet and spin. Keep the bet the same. Don't increase after losses. That's a 17 black. Okay, we won, so now we put 20 on first and third, not second. And then spin, and let's see what we get here. There we go, that's a 25 red. That should be new session profit at 120, so we restart at first and second for 10 each. And so far it does look like we could play this all night long, but we'll find out the rest of the way. That's a 4 black. That's a win, so we'll be on second and third now. We're up 130, and let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. That's a 30 red. That's a win, so now we'll be on first and second. We're up 140, and this does seem very, very easy to win money, and we haven't had much risk yet, but let's see what happens if you, I mean, we had 5 losses in a row, but we only lost $50 because we never increased the bet on that. I guess we lost 100, but we got it right back. And because there are 2 bets out there, we're up 150, and we'll be on first and third. And that's because we increased after that next win and got a win. That's a 5 red, but a bunch of times we didn't get a win after that, and we still recovered. So that's pretty cool. And these wins at base level are adding up as well. We're up $160 now. So let's see what we get here. That's an 8 black. We lost, so we were up 160. Remember that. And we're going to keep the bet the same until we get a win. All right, here we go. It's a 34 red. We won, so we increased the bets. We'll be on first and second, and let's spin. That's a 7 red. That's a win. So now we're up 170, and we go back to base level, second and third 12. And here we go. That's a good win there on 35 black. Okay, we're up 180. Let's go first and second now and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 9 red. That's a win. We'll take that. Now we're up $190. Let's go second and third for 10. And here we go. It's a 27 red. We won, so we'll go first and second now. Now we're up $200. This has been going really well for a system that only increases after wins, and not all wins. It doesn't even increase after base level wins. But we lost there, so let's repeat that bet. And again, if we lose 5 in a row, we still keep the bet the same. We do not increase. That's a 1 red. Okay, we won, so we increased the bet from 10 to 20. And spin. And here we go. That's a 14 red. Okay, we got the win. We're up to 10. So we'll be back at 10 on first and third. We're leaving out the one that hits last. And here we go. And we lost that one. That's an 18 red. Okay, so we leave the bet the same and spin. And we, even if we lose 10 in a row, we do not increase. And we lost again. That's a 00. So maybe it's going to test us here a little bit more, and that's okay. I want to see what happens when we have a lot of losses in a row. That'll be important. And there's another loss. That's 3 losses in a row. Okay, so you can see it dropped us to 150 profit. But I tell you what, it's not dropping us anything like if we were doubling after losses and losing. It's been pretty good so far. That's a 6 black. We won, so we increased the bet. Now we'll be on second and third for 20 each. And since we had so many losses, if we win this one, we'll need to increase again. That's a 9 red. But we lost again. It's really testing us now, so we'll leave the bet the same. Dropped us to 120 profit temporarily. And here we go. Oh my goodness, it wants us to lose, doesn't it? But this is a really safe system, so I think we're going to be okay. Let's go ahead and keep the bets at 20 each, 40 total. We're not going to increase after losses. And that's a 36 red. We won, so we'll increase the bet. Okay, we're up 100. Let's go ahead and spin and see what we get here. That's a 29 black, and that's another loss. It's really testing us now. So we leave the bets the same until we get a win. We do not increase. And here we go. Tried to hit 0 again there, but that's a 28 black. We lost again either way. Boy, we've just been stacking up losses, but at least we're not doubling when we lose. And that's going to be big when it comes to recovery. That's a 7 red. And we won, so we go from 30 to 40. And let's go ahead and spin. And let's get it back now. Let's see how this recovery process does. And that's a 4 black. My goodness. We just are losing spin after spin after spin, but we're not increasing after losses. Remember that. And here we go. That's a 21 red. Okay, let's increase from 40 to 50. We'll be on first and third, leaving out the one that hit last. And we've had so many losses. I'd like to think things are going to turn our favor here pretty soon. So now we're up 20. We're going to go from 50 to 60. And we'll be on second and third. And again, if we have a losing streak, we don't increase. We're just increasing after wins that come after losses. And that's a 30 red. Okay, that's a win. We're up 80. We'll go to 70, and we'll be on first and second. So we'll see how this recovery process works here. And that's a 24 black. And we got the win. And time just expired. So we made $150 profit after 15 minutes with tons of losses. And the cool thing about that is if we had lost all those and doubled the bet, we would have been in real trouble. But since we did not increase the bet after losses, it did keep it extremely safe. And let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments. Let me know if you think he's right, that this is the safest roulette system possible. And he says he can play it all night long. So test it out and let me know what you guys think. It's exciting to think that you could do that. And that's what this is all about, is searching for the best roulette system possible each and every day. If you're enjoying that search with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to send systems in, send them to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. We do this every single day of the week, and I love the search. I hope you guys do too. And this is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.